Hello, in this video I will try to demonstrate how to implement integration of external post-processing to SprutCam. Now I have started SprutCam and I want to open some example project from our standard distribution, for example this one. And here I have some technological process which machine the part. For example, we can use simulation to show this. So now I want to post-process this project. I just need to click this post-processor button on the machining tab. This list of buttons changing when we change the active tab. So on the machining tab we have post-processor button, and here we need to choose any post-processor we need to use, and for example this one. And we have some G code. It's our internal post-processing system, and it's our internal post-processor for different CNC machines. And how to integrate with external post-processing system. You can implement your own post-processor. Now I will demonstrate how to make new post-processors in our system. To do this, you need to start CLData viewer utility. It's special utility which can help to create new post-processors. Our post-processors based on the programming language. We have two post-processing systems based on our internal programming language. The name is postprocessor generator, but I recommend you to use more flexible system based on C# language. So to use this you need to start CLData viewer, and here you can create new post-processor. Just go to post-processor tab, and here you can create new post-processor, for example empty post-processor. And I should create new folder with the name of the post-processor. So now I have this post-processor. I can double click on it and it will start Visual Studio Code. And it will open the code of this post-processor. Wait a few minutes. Okay. Now it's totally empty post-processor which creates some new file and prints some strings to it. I even can build it and start. First building spends few time. Okay, now I have resulting postprocessor file. I can choose the reveal binary in Windows Explorer. So now I have this DLL file. It's resulting postprocessor DLL file. It's resulting binary file of the postprocessor. For the customer, you need to provide only this one file when you're creating your own postprocessors. So now I even can start to postprocess. I just click to launch post inside Visual Studio Code. And it will generate output files, output G-code. Now it will be just empty file which only prints the names of operations. So it just prints the names of operations. Let's look at the CLData tab. In SproutCam we have the toolpath and the CLData shown here, and inside the CLData viewer we have the CLData also, and CLData viewer help us to debug postprocessors. It shows the currently postprocessing CLData command, and we can choose any command we want and see the list of available parameters, and we can copy name of these parameters or value and paste it to the code of the postprocessor. It's utility to help to debug the postprocessors. And I can, for example, place some breakpoint here and start again. So now I can debug. Now on start project I am just creating new file, and we can see it here. Then we define the output file name for this file. By default it has some auto-generated name. Then we print some information to this file, just some empty string. And we can debug it such way. Now I can make some program handlers for any command I need. For example, I want to handle goto command. I just type override on goto command, and it adds some template for me. So here I can print any data I need to have inside my output file. For example, goto endpoint to debug it. And it prints some numbers to my file. And so on. I can make handlers for each command I need. And also you can use some additional handler which starts at for each command. For example, you can implement on after command handle. It will run on each command. And for example, I can write CMD caption. CMD caption is the string we see here in this list. It's apt-like syntax, but really it doesn't respect ISO standard. It's just only similar to it. But you can use it, of course. And let's see on result. So now I have CLData apt-like CLData file, and now I can use this postprocessor inside SprutCam. I can go to SprutCam back and go to machining, open the postprocessor generation window and open this file also. Where is it? I can copy postprocessor DL path to clipboard here and place it here. Okay, now I can use my new postprocessor. So I have apt-like CLData. I prepared some special postprocessor for your purpose to integrate with external postprocessor the same way as I shown you now, as I showed you now. And let's look at this postprocessor, what it does. I just created the new postprocessor and implement the name is xpost runner. Let's open it. The postprocessor is C# project, usual C# class library. It has the main postprocessor CS file, which contains the meaningful code. Now it has only about 100 lines of code. And it also has some additional settings XML file. In this XML file you can add some settings you want to show for the customer when she starts post-processing in this window. For example, I added few parameters, and when the customer selects this X-Post runner, he needs to fill these parameters. For example, he should use output apt file. The resulting apt file we need to generate. And I added some parameter which can separate which can generate separate apt file for each operation. For example, this operation will have their own apt file. It's optional parameter. Just for demonstration we can use. So I added some parameters. You can select some database file from which you want to use the postprocessor, and here you can choose exact postprocessor and the revision for the postprocessor you need to use. And also I added some additional parameters to start external utility. In this example I will start Notepad++, and if I enable this option, it will start Notepad++ and pass the resulting apt file to it. And instead of starting Notepad++, you can start any external post-processing utility. It's just for demonstration I start the Notepad++. And now let's look how it works. For example, I can choose where I want to place my resulting apt file. For example, here, result apt source. I can choose any database file I need. I can choose the postprocessor from the database and the revision. Oh, sorry. And now I start post-processing. So it starts Notepad++ for me, and it passed the name of the resulting apt file to this utility. And you can see also that we have the information about the database file, about the selected postprocessor file, and the postprocessor revision here. Now I will show you how it's implemented in code. So the parameters we have in this settings XML file. I can edit it manually, or I can edit it using CLData viewer. Just click right mouse button and choose Edit Postprocessor XML Settings. So here I can click to User Defined Parameters section, and here I can add any parameter I need. A different type of parameters possible. For example, numbers, double integer, booleans, file or folder name, and string also. And it's possible to use numeration values which will show the drop-down list for these parameters. And I can add any values I want to have. And such way you can create any parameters you need. And I added, as I said before, the external utility option and external utility file name and database and postprocessor name parameters. And inside the code of the postprocessor, I just creating the new CLData file on the start of project, and I can get access to all these parameters from the code, like shown here. Just type settings params str and the name of parameter you want to use. Str or int or bool depend on the type of parameter you want to have. For example, bool will have boolean parameter, int will have integer, FLT float parameter, and so on. So it just for some header information, like shown here. Sorry, not this. Like shown here. And next one, if split by operations option enabled, I start the new CLData file for each operation. And when the whole post-processing finished, I want to start some external utility. And in this example, if start external utility option enabled, here start external utility, then it reads the external utility name and collect to the arc variable the names of all CLData files it has at the finish, and then it starts the process with these arguments. And you can see that it starts Notepad++ with resulting apt source file. For example, I can enable the each operation to separate apt file and start postprocessor again. And instead of one file, it will have separate file for each operation. Zero index file is just header information for the whole project. And the next one, I implemented on after command handle, which just print the caption for each command. The caption frequently contains the most important information for the command, but for some few commands you can implement the syntax you want in your case. And for example, I implemented is ignoring command. It means that ignoring command means that I implement my own syntax instead of caption of command. And I implement my own syntax for goto and feed rate command. And is ignoring command returns true for goto and feed rate commands. And here I have, for example, on goto, just prints goto slash and coordinates x, y, and z for my goto movement. And for feed rate, I also can implement feed rate, and depend on the units of feed rate, I just print per minute or per revolution. And you can implement the syntax you need such way. You can get information about the parameters of each command just by clicking on the command, and here it has some command lines which describes the purpose of each parameter. For example, feed units, you can get information about possible values and so on. Also, you can get the information about the post-processing inside our official documentation. To open it, just open the CLData viewer, and in my menu open documentation. Here is the main page, and you can start from the base creating postprocessor tutorial. And also we have API documentation here. Here you can get information about different parameters and describe the description for each parameter. Or you can get CLData documentation from here. Here you will have parameters available inside each command. For example, inside goto command, where is it? Sorry. I don't see. Sorry again. Oh, okay. It has name apps move here. So go to apps. So we have only 3 parameters here, and of course you can get name here. For example, go to XYZ. CLD1, CLD2, CLD3, and here is CLD1, CLD2, CLD3. And for each command you can get full information inside this documentation. Also, you can open our postprocessors examples repository. We have GitHub repository with postprocessors examples. Here you have some example of real postprocessors, for example, Fanuc, Heidenhain postprocessors, or Swiss type postprocessors, robot postprocessors, and so on. Or you can open the features folder when we have some example how to use different features of our post-processing system. For example, how to use input data parameters, like I shown you with settings file. I mean this set of parameters is the input data. Or how to create different kind of output files, XML files, JSON files, ODT files, and so on, or just simple text files. Or examples how to implement subroutines in program inside postprocessors. Also, you can find here some links to our tutorial videos how to implement postprocessors. It's not so rich, but you can see it. I think that's all. Thank you.